Hello, I am Jody Wolf, June 5, 2011, 34 after midnight. You're watching Expoz. America's Disasters. The new beginning is now. April the 4th, 2011, America became involved in a Middle East dispute. This was with Libya, but actually it started in Tunisia. As the riots grew, so did the remarks from America, and those remarks were against Israel. I ask, why? Why Israel? They're not the ones that's killing each other and trying to overthrow their own government and install a leader from the Muslim Brotherhood. Israel is not that stupid, so why should America pick on Israel at all? April the 8th, 2011, 4 days later, America had its first violent tornado outbreak, and as you know, they have not yet ended. They slowed a bit. April the 8th, 2011 was the earliest ever on record, and the last to hit was yesterday. East Coast killed 4 people. House Speaker John Boehner called for Israel to speak at a joint sessions in Congress. This call was April the 18th. His meeting was to be on the 24th and hoped to get congressional support for Israel. His intent was to get Obama to oppose and vote against the Palestinian state when the United Nations opened for business in September 2011. Obama feared Israel's Netanyahu would go further. Obama, did not want the Israelis to get out in front of Obama in setting the perimeters of any future peace talks with the Palestinians. So Obama decided to preempt the Prime Minister by making his own speech a few days earlier. So on May the 19th, Obama went to the State Department and made a major foreign policy speech addressing the recent changes about the unrest in the Middle East. The speech fell on the day before Netanyahu was to visit the White House on what was supposed to be a frank discussion about stalled peace talks. Obama started out telling the Syrian president to shape up or ship out. However, this speech was a smokescreen, because he reserved the big guns for Israel by breaking with decades of American bipartisan policy by not stipulating the perimeters of a peace process between the PLO and Israel. But Obama laid down those conditions himself by breaking with Israel and siding with the Arabs. Never been done before. Obama called upon Israel to fall back onto something that didn't really exist, a mythical 1967 border. He called for permanent Jordan, Egypt, Palestinian borders, and then another Israel and Palestinian separate border. So as Obama made the speech, that's not possible in any world, certainly not the real world, and pretty much ordered Israel to comply and even had the Middle East in a victory mode before Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu came to meet with Obama. Obama declared the Arabs winners. Obama said everyone had the right to be a state, of course. Israel has to be the one to give it up so that they can be a state. Wrong. Israel also has the right to defend itself. But Obama said by itself. The victory party had already started even before Obama and Israel met on May the 20th. And at that very moment, the Arabs were already calling, forget this, for Israel to go back to before 1948 and start there and give up that land. This is an incredibly insane and even more incredibly stupid by those, the Arabs, who think this might even be considered. This is a perfect example of the old saying, give an inch and they'll take a mile. These Islamic terrorists now want more just based on Obama running his mouth in demanding Israel to give up Jerusalem, and the meeting's not yet taken place. So what Obama did was to lay down the law and took it away from Israel to discuss on their own what would take place and work out their own terms. They told Israel, "We will tell you. You no longer have the right to make your own decisions and choices." Mistake. So we now know Obama's position before the meeting with Netanyahu, and after said meeting with Netanyahu, something really strange happened. Obama had a complete change of heart. Obama could not stand before the God of Jacob in Israel and defy, through the words of Netanyahu, the discussions they had between each other that day. These next two statements are critical. Number one, God went into that meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu, and Obama could not speak against anything that was presented or expressed by Netanyahu, and I do believe, as Luke 21:15 says in the Bible, words will come that no one can defend themselves against, because true words of wisdom are final. When the two came out of the said meeting, Obama spoke first, and in his speech he did not mention any way, fashion, or form that Israel was to give up land for peace. He seemed halfway dazed and confused, and told America and Israel what America and Israel wanted to hear. Also, the same was said by Benjamin Netanyahu. So all is good. Number two, Obama had one day to gather his wits and again said he wanted the Arabs to hear, because the Arabs already was ready to go against Obama because they were mad, really mad at Obama. However, how short is Obama's pea-brain memory that he had to do some serious backpedaling and again went on the offensive and sided with the Arabs. So that quick, Obama went back on his word and changed his mind within 24 hours. So in lieu of Obama, America continued on her worst tornado journey that ever hit America. The disaster started on April the 8th, 2011, 4 days after calling for a meeting with Israel. Not at all what John Boehner did, but what Obama, Biden, and Hillary Clinton did. They started the undermining process to erode Israel when they heard John Boehner told Netanyahu to come and speak with Congress. This is precisely the date when tornadoes started hitting America. As of today, they have slowed down a bit, but the track record in meeting with Israel is now 52-0. 52 meetings, 52 disasters. 52 times we stood against Israel. 52 times we have been hit. And this has been the worst by far. So everyone tell Obama, thank you, Obama, for destroying America in more ways than one. And we too, we know the Jews are God's chosen. We know every time we attacked Israel with words, in any other way about their land or anything that's not our business, every time we attack Christians for giving us the Word of God, every time you turn your head while evil goes on in your backyard, every time we ignore what the Word of God says, we simply reap what we sow. We have to remember that when we go against the true Word of God, we need to expect the Word of God to convict us. It's a simple law of reciprocity. It will happen to you and me as we allow it to happen to others. This, my friend, is why America is on fire and all nations are about to crash and burn as well, or our nation as well as all nations who do the same to Israel. Now next, what is Obama being prepped for? Kiss into your nose, and I will tell you. Jody Wolf, Expoz.